Okay, what up, everybody? Welcome back. We got one of our, as you can notice, we're sitting down.
Thanks.
Which is,
Well, it's more comfortable.
It is. I agree.
And we have a guest, so it's nicer.
yes.
Just be nice.
Okay. You can't say that we don't take care of women. Like,
We never said that.
no.
Whoa,
But, like,
cut that out.
no, why?
Okay, well, welcome. Let's introduce
Yes,
her.
welcome. Okay.
Thank
So we got my friend and my friend's Mrs. Jishvinia.
Thank you.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, I was
That's right.
shocked that you said it.
That was the only thing I was worried about the whole time. Okay.
You got it.
Anyways, so she saw our video last week of the interracial relationships, and Jesh, I'm just gonna go with the short. Okay, Jesh is also in an interracial relationship, and
Great.
she's Punjabi. Her
Great.
background is Punjabi, right?
Yeah.
And so she had a lot that she wanted to say about the video that we posted. And we're like, why don't you just come on the show, give the women's perspective on this whole thing, and we'll learn something.
Hopefully.
Or we'll have a good conversation.
And we'll have a good conversation about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So I got Jesh to pick out exactly what clip she wants us to talk about from our video. So we're going to react to our own video today, which is for the first time.
This is bad. Bad
Sim
idea.
has never,
I hate listening to myself.
he hates it.
I say some stupid stuff.
He didn't know for the longest time what our ending of our show looked like.
I was like, we have an outro?
Yeah. For the longest time.
Because like, yeah, man, this is the outro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is going to be funny for him. But anyways, I have the point.
So this is where we're starting from.
This is where we're starting from.
All right,
Okay.
let's go.
Oh, and so you can just let me know or just tap on the screen or whatever, pause.
'Kay.
And then we just talk from that. Okay.
Good.
Oh God.
Hypothetical. If you're a dad one day and your daughter wants to marry a black guy, where do you go? Yes or no? Just quickly, yes or no?
Probably not. Like
Exactly.
it would not be the
But
easiest.
why though?
It has nothing to do with like the skin color or the culture. It's just that
Then what does it have to do with it? That's everything.
no, but like I would
That's most things.
no for like my family or the
Yeah.
way I've been growing up is about the religion, right?
Religion. Yeah.
Right.
So that would
Yeah.
really kind of
Okay, here we go. Religion. Okay, thanks for pausing it here.
I'll make you pain this.
yeah.
Maybe the pain is coming.
Okay.
So why religion? So if you had a daughter
Yeah.
and you guys gave the example of marrying a black guy, it can be any
Sure.
religion.
But let's just go anyone. Yeah.
Right? Why is it religion for you?
Like, why is it religion for us in the sense that we wouldn't be good with it, type of thing? Okay, you go first.
Okay, so for myself, right, I just don't want that conflict between my partner and myself. Like if I had a partner that is a different religion or something, right, then it confuses the kids. One, because not every religion is the same, or the followings are not the same, right? So when they're growing up, you can do, one person does their religion and the other person does theirs, but then I think that it'll confuse the kids a little bit too much. Right? Then you have your hat in both.
So are you saying that if you were married to like a Punjabi kuri or a different?
No, if I was married to a Punjabi Kuri, most likely she's Sikh, right? That which is a religion that I follow, and so I don't think that compromise would ever have to happen, and so I would never have to like explain myself as to like what.
Which is a little bit easier.
Yeah, it'll make it easier for the kids,
Yeah, but what if your son or your daughter was like, "Papa, I want to marry, Papa kuri."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
What?
Then at that point, I have no choice, right? Like as long as the upbringings that I was brought up with was Sikhi,
Yeah.
and so I follow Sikhi. But if my kids decide that okay, they don't want to be a part of it, I can't force that. Sikhi doesn't teach us to force it on anybody, right?
Right.
And so if they decide that they want to find God in a different religion, then that's on them at that point. But I think that until a mature age. Because there is a mature age that you got to get to before you can tell your kids that, okay, now you can make the choice of what religion you're going to want to be a part of or not be a part of, right?
True.
When they're growing up, it's your responsibility to teach them as much as possible. But then at the same time, when they're, mature enough, it's like anything else. I can go into like the LGBT.
Yeah, you could go to the.
right?
Don't go into that.
please don't.
But like,
This episode is over. Sorry.
no, but at the same time, it's like the kids, you have to teach your kids to a certain point. That's your job as a parent to teach them until they can make their own decisions wisely. I think that's why.
That's exactly my point.
I feel this we're gonna go to me now.
Yes.
I feel the biggest thing is, when you're not in the same culture, chalo, like I'm not even like saying let's have the same religion. Let's just go culture because it's a little bit less crazy.
Yeah.
If you're not in the same culture, it's such to me it's scary. When apne Punjabiyan de vich thoda ja dar hunda hai, there's history there, there's culture there, right? If my daughter is like, I want to go with this Gora guy or a Kala guy or whoever, I'd be like it's such like an abyss, like it's like a black hole.
Yeah.
And we know men, right? Now, can a girl find a guy that's out of culture who's like a really good guy, like Alejandro maybe? Like, I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
I've like literally met him 2 weeks ago. But is that possible? Does that happen? Absolutely. It happens and it can work out and you can co-parent two religions with kids and they can grow up doing both religions. Sure. The chances of that actually being successful are probably very low. And I also have it in my friend circle or even like family where that's happened. And jadon bande da dar nahi hunda na that we have some culture here to like fall back on, I feel like it's too much of a throwing a dart. Like if my daughter was to be like, hey, I found this guy, unless that guy was like Dodo da tola, and like I'm talking about like the perfect guy, even if he was outside the religion and culture, okay, fine. But how rare is that to actually happen? So for me, it's more about just, and again, you don't lose the culture then. I feel like if you have two religions, at some point, our culture gets lost in the next generation or the generation after that. Because if you have two religions, you can't tell me that at some point your kids are going to be like, you know what, I might pick this one. And to me, that's too much of a rolling the dice. Because to me, preserving that Punjabi culture is very, very important. And if my daughter went outside the culture, like usually it's the guy that dictates. Might be different for you, which is super nice. If he's no, let's do both. And he's that guy, which is awesome. Because usually, it's usually the guy. Yeah. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. It's true.
That dictates, well, we're going to do this religion. And even if the woman is like, no, like I also want to do this religion. I feel like from knowing people and just, from hearing things, I feel like at some point it's the guy, if he's a little bit more, dominating and very masculine, blah, 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 that religion eventually will take over. You can keep the culture as much as you want, but at some point it'll go one way. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm not saying it doesn't work. It is that if I was a dad, I'd just be very scared about like, oh man, like we don't know that culture. Do they have culture? And then it's kind of like risky.
So I want to ask you one thing before we started. I know in your intro we were supposed to ask you, but like, what's your background and then what's your husband's background, just for context?
Sure, yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Because then you're
So I am full Sikh. I'm a full Punjabi Kuri.
Yeah.
Come from a Jatti family.
Yeah.
And Alejandro is Cuban. So with him, like I am very spiritual and very religious.
Right.
Him, there's no religion. Like he is born Catholic, but they weren't raised Catholic.
Okay.
So for him, that religion aspect was not there since the beginning. And from a young age, I knew I would never end up with a Punjabi.
Really?
Why is that? Because a lot of people say that.
Let's explore this.
I hear that.
Because so before I met Alejandro in like my teen to early 20s, I dated a few Punjabis,
Sure.
3 to be exact. And all of them were very dominating. And they were
Did I just say that?
Yeah.
And
they, I just saw no future because they're like, they wanted a typical housewife to sit at home, raise the children and do all of that. That's not.
That's old school. Yeah.
Because my parents raised me to be independent and explore you as a person, right? You come first. And my parents, like going back a little bit more context, I wasn't born and raised in India. I was born in Malaysia.
Okay.
So we are like now 3rd or 4th generation Malaysians.
Okay.
So my perdade and my perdanis, all of them are from India. But during the British War, my family kind of scattered. So my dada and my daddy, they fled to Indonesia and Malaysia. My nana and my nani, they went to Singapore. So from there, that's how our family dynamics kind of started. So I mean, like with the culture, my family not became modernized, but they adapted to other cultures. So we were always very open to other races, other cultures. Like in Malaysia, Chinese New Year, everyone celebrates it.
Yeah.
When it's Ramadan, everybody celebrates it, you know? So we were kind of adapt in those cultures, right? Diwali, everybody. So that's how we were raised. And my dad has always been the type of person that always says respect every religion.
Yeah.
No matter who that person is, respect that.
Yeah.
So we were always raised in a mindset of there's only one God. Religion is man-made. I don't know if you guys believe that.
I'm so
right?
there.
Yeah. Well, Sikhi, that's what it teaches,
Yeah.
right? Sikhi.
So there's only one God. So to me, growing up and knowing that one day when I do have children, I want to raise them in a Sikhi way.
Yes.
Because Sikhi is all about the oneness. You
Right.
know, there's one universe, there's just one truth and one God. And that was important for me, right? And I'm blessed to be born as a Sikhi fully, right?
Yeah.
So when I met Alejandro, being Cuban, and with religion, I knew I had to pass that Sikhi to my daughter because that's the only religion she'll know, right? When she's older, I will also teach her what my parents taught me. There's one God. Doesn't matter who you pray to,
Right.
because your prayer will only go to one God.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
so for us, it worked because when I met him, he was very respectful. From the beginning, I told him, this is the relationship I want. Are you in or are you not? That was our thing, right? And he accepted me for who I was and what I wanted to do. And we knew we wanted to have kids along the line, but we just didn't know when. We're going on 10 years now.
Yeah.
And my daughter's 9.5 months. So
Yeah.
it took us a while to get to, talking
good.
about marriage
Smart.
and
Yeah.
talking about kids.
Yep.
So I moved to Calgary with my parents. It was scary telling them that I was in a relationship with a non-Punjabi, right? But my parents were open. They were like, if he is respectful, if he truly loves you, then go for it. Because my parents were all about the love. If a man or a woman truly loves each other, that's the end. Like there's nothing against it. My parents were against the violence, against everything. And my parents always told me, like, if something isn't right and you know something's not right, just come home. Like, we're not going to shun you and then, like, you went and lived with this non-Punjabi.
Punjabi parents are always good at that. They're like, they'll always be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my parents were not like that. They were like, even today, they're like, if things suddenly don't work out or you run out of
Come
money,
home.
if there's no food and you can't, keep your head above float, come home.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
But my home is Calgary, right?
Yeah.
But my parents were always like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
No.
Okay.
So you're third generation or fourth generation from
Right
Malaysia?
now, I am third
Okay.
generation.
So do you think that it's a big difference between somebody that's coming from India, the first generation Punjab, right? Cultures like that. And that maybe be the reason why they're a little bit more against. Because your parents reacted great, right? They said they're open to it.
Yeah.
They didn't have, like, you might not have gone to like so many issues. But nowadays people do have an issue, like first generation parents, because the culture is so, because your guys' culture is, you've adapted to other cultures, right? Which is where we see that, like, being okay with the fact that she's with somebody else.
Yeah.
Do you think that has a big difference? Or made a difference?
Yes,
Like,
and
is your dad a Sadar story? Like, or is he like,
no,
no.
he's not a
like Sadar?
no, he's not a Sardar
Right.
Samaj, no. No.
Because I think that makes a
But
lot
my
difference, too.
dada was, right?
Yeah, then it just changed, obviously. Like my dad, too. Yeah, he's not. Now he is, actually. But
Yeah.
for a big portion of his, like, actually.
I
was it,
think
but-
yes and no. I think, like, some things get lost in translation, like
Yeah.
especially when you come from, like, India, the Holy Land, right?
Yeah.
Like Amritsar, right? I think it gets kind of lost in
It does.
translation.
It does.
A little bit, because when you go to a different country, you need to adapt to the way those people live, right? Like in Malaysia, the Malay natives are the native to the country. But I guess other cultures, other religion have come to Malaysia, has moved and adapted to them. And
As it
things are
should be.
changing,
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, like, India's getting more modern now too, right? And things are quickly changing and adapting there as well. So the India perspective, I can't really say because I've never been, right? But in a different country, I can speak to that.
Well, it's nice that you haven't adapted to the point where you've lost the touch of your actual roots of Punjabi, right?
Yeah.
Like, she speaks Punjabi. Like, you could
Yeah,
have lost
fluent,
that
yeah.
way long ago.
It's just that my
Right?
Punjabi is different.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
Like, the dialects
It's
are
not-
different, right?
Exactly.
So that hasn't changed, right?
Right.
You're practicing the religion that your families have passed on,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And so a lot hasn't changed because that's the upbringing you're brought up with,
Mhm.
right? So that's the difference right there.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna continue this video here.
Okay.
Take it to a different level
Yeah.
where it's not just. It's just easier for, especially when if my daughter is gonna go have kids of her own,
Yeah.
right? Like religion wise, where does she go?
Stop.
It's kind of
She's gonna
scary,
mix,
isn't it?
right?
So before you said that if you had a daughter or a son, you would teach them that religion. Wouldn't you trust your kid
Yeah.
to pass that down to your generation of children?
Yeah, if I brought them up right, they should be doing, that is bringing up their kids the way that they feel is right.
What's the question, sorry?
Yeah. What's the question?
Oh, so we just paused. He
Yeah.
said that, so I asked him,
Yeah.
if he had a son or a daughter, wouldn't he trust his judgment and his teaching that he bestowed upon his children to teach our generation of children?
But that's 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 if his partner is the same religion and culture as him, you mean?
But now we're
It's
saying
easier.
that it is, right?
Like if my partner is the same religion, yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it would be
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. I think, listen, it completely changes the formula when you look at, especially if your other partner is also religious. If they're not, then it's almost like you're passing on your religion to that
Yeah.
partner and they're like learning yours. And then it's like, it's actually more, it's like easier for the partner that is religious to like, well, this person isn't religious at all. Now I'm just clean slate.
Yeah.
Unne na mainu kuch aakhna hai about anything. He'll generally be more open to stuff. And Sikhi is a religion that it's not like a lot of like things you got to do, right? It's not like you have to like in Islam pray 5 times a day. I mean, if you were Muslim and you went to your husband, you're like, listen, you got to start praying 5 times a day. Now that situation changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So Sikhi is a very, where it's like a what do you call it again?
What?
Religion. Monotheistic? Right.
Okay.
So yeah, there's not that many like things we got to do. Unless you're like a Sardar and you're like a proper practicing Amritdari, then that's a totally different situation. I think it just changes when the other person is not
The same.
not the same. They don't have to be like the same. I don't want to sound like a nut here. I'm not a nut. Leave me alone.
Well, maybe. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. Let's watch you might have to add like another 10 to that because this would be too long. I think like
fine.
if you, because we're very cultural.
Yes.
Like we're very Punjabi.
Yeah.
So for us to like, if I was to like close my eyes and think about if I had a daughter,
Yeah.
and she was like, oh, I'm gonna go date this like out of Punjabi. I mean, first of all, even in Punjabi is a bit of a crapshoot at this point.
Yeah.
So imagine how it's gonna be in like,
Exactly why
See?
I never wanted to be with a Punjabi.
or so.
For Punjabis, are ruined
Hold on. Hold on a second. I feel like Punjabis and Sikhs are very easy to like jump ship.
Yeah.
Let's just say, hun tusi Islam mein dekho, right? They marry in their religion. They keep their religion going and their culture going.
Yeah.
That is like set in stone.
Yeah.
And now you see those stupid trends happening now where I'm gonna like,
Sit.
I change the whatever those
Sit.
talks are.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever, whether change the rule or some stupidness.
Don't break the rule.
Don't break the rule.
Don't break the rule.
Yeah, so now that's a trend, right?
Yeah.
But what's their divorce rate? I'm just saying, divorce rates are crazy right now. And I just feel like that equation definitely changes when we go outside.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't work for some people, and I'm very happy that it works for like somebody like you, right?
Yeah.
And
The
it's like,
cakes.
yeah, and it's prospering and it's like good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But I feel like the way humans are now to mix two things, it's just like, it's like not in our DNA almost. Like we're not patient enough. We don't have like the brains to be like, listen, these are two religions. Let's make this work. One person always goes off the cliff, I feel like, and then things are just bad.
Okay, I'm gonna say one thing about that whole trend thing that's going on, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed? Because I've noticed, I don't know if it's just my feed, is that people are converting. Like Islam is such a strong religion.
100%.
People, other like religions that are like more open about like
Yeah, Hinduism,
resurrection,
Sikhism, yeah.
they're all converting over to Islam.
Because they have a written rule, like a written law, that if let's say you're Muslim,
Yeah.
right?
The guy
or the girl,
Yeah.
right? So for you, let's just say you, for an example, if you're Muslim and
Yeah.
you marry a Gori,
Yeah.
right? the Gauris automatically
has to convert over.
She has to convert.
Yeah.
even with Christianity, right? It's such a strong religion.
Yeah.
But if the girl's Muslim, the guy doesn't have to convert if he's not
No,
Muslim.
he would have to convert as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Whereas like I
But,
saw a
yeah.
lot of them, they're like Sikhi, and Sikhi is open. Like, okay, like, we're open. Like, we just believe in God, right?
Yeah.
And people are converting. The Sikh are converting over to Muslim,
Yeah, but
and those
you know-
trends.
I know,
Like,
but
the girls,
you know,
the girls are.
well, no, so, like let's be honest. Islam is a very strict religion. Way more strict than Sikhi is. The amount of like, have you over like since I was like let's say 20 up until now 41, 38. The amount of stories you've heard just in your life and the amount that I've heard about Punjabi girls marrying into Islam and the amount of the nonsense that comes with it, how they regret it, and now they're divorcing, and now they're running away, now they're in some situation, or there's like a complete cluster of stuff happening. So just because you see it on TikTok, like some nice, kal ho na ho music in the background, and this girl's wearing some lehenga, and the guy looks like he just like literally is like very Muslim with the beard, and just their culture, right?
Yeah.
That's not reality. Like it doesn't.
You don't know what's happening.
No, you don't know what's happening, and when you're in that like phase, that dating phase, or even the first like honeymoon phase, people call it, right?
Yeah.
Olive, it's totally different. You fast forward 3, 4, 5 years, and again, what happens there? The culture is gone, and the religion's gone. So if there's like a mass exodus out of the religion and the culture, then we lose Punjabi. I mean, we do lose it, right? We're already losing it in our kids. Yep. Now, if you're one of those parents who's like, you're gonna learn Punjabi, I don't give a rat's ass if you don't learn anything else in your life. You're gonna learn Punjabi. You're gonna know the gurus. You're gonna know all these things. Good on you.
Yeah.
But my sister, my sister's had kids out of religion, same culture. It's hit and miss. It's actually not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, continuing.
Here. Yeah. In 20 years, if she's dating somebody, I would be like, what the? Like, imagine how bad it would be at that point.
Fast
forward my better.
Okay, don't get me wrong. A lot of my friends are Nigerian. A lot of my friends,
I got a lot of black
we
friends
both
too.
have
It's not. We're not putting them down. We're just saying from our cultural standpoint, our culture standpoint, it's looked down upon because our culture is very,
Yeah. Well, again, like right now, people. I've seen brown people marry Filipinos, right?
Yep.
That was a thing. I know people personally that are married even in their older ages, who are married to different cultures, and it's fine. I think that wherever you find it, but like the differences are gonna affect when you want to bring up kids, right? Things like that.
There's tons of that too. That
no matter how much, no matter even like now, no matter how much you adapt to each other's culture, right? The Indian guy can go and become. Like, I've seen that where they've changed their own religion and they've changed their culture just to please the other person.
If you guys married outside of your culture, would you force your spouse or wives to convert?
No, hell no. No, like you mean religion?
Yeah.
No, hell no. You accept them as who they are. Simple. And that's in Sikhi, right? We don't do that type of nonsense.
But now, Sikhi society.
What about it? What do you mean, Sikhi?
Hirdaya.
Oh, no, I don't think that way. I wouldn't be doing a YouTube channel if I cared about that.
So you guys are more like, I don't care.
No, I think it's
About other people, you mean?
Yeah.
No, to me, my parents matter.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
you try to respect that as best you can. When I was like people back home, or there's be extended family back home, and even like closer to their like friend circle here, I think those things completely don't matter. Yeah. Like my own sister married outside, so it's
Yeah, like I've been raised in, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just been raised like that, where we're just supposed to respect the person, right? Religion is man-made, right? So when that comes into factor, if my partner believes in something else and I just truly want to be with this person, then it'll happen. I don't think my family, as long as I respect my family's wishes, or I respect my family's wishes and like concerns, right? And respect them. I don't care about the extended family. No, I don't care what their thoughts are. I don't care. They're not paying my bill.
You're not living with them.
They're not coming.
Forget it. But let me say one thing. The biggest thing for me is being with somebody who understands the thing about taking care of parents. And a lot of girls that are not Punjabi will not understand that at all.
Yes.
And if I'm 50 and my parents are now in their 80s and because I have friends that have married outside and they're having problems because they're literally with their parents going to the hospital, going to the the old folks home, right? And they have to do those things because now they're not even sick. But they're like Indian.
Yeah.
But they don't want to.
They gotta take care of their parents, and the wife is like, "What are you doing? Like you're literally there all the time."
Yeah.
Oh, samajh nahi aegi. And to me, that alone is where the buck stops.
That's the culture.
If the woman, if my wife is outside of Punjabi, Indians, even Pakistani Punjabis, even they understand that because it's the same culture.
Yeah.
Like it's not, there's only like a divide there, but it's the same culture. But if you go outside into like, whatever we talked about there, imagine trying to like figure that out with your partner. And again, how long do our parents actually live for, right? Like maybe 80s, 90s, maybe. I mean, at some point it ends, but there's those 15, 10, whatever years where they're getting really old. Maybe you got to move them in. I'm the oldest boy. So how does that transpire? How does that roll out? I don't want to be sitting there with her being like, oh, listen, I'm Punjabi. This is what we do. They'll never understand that.
Wouldn't that be a conversation that you would have prior?
The thing is,
listen, the conversation's different. Hold on a second. When the conversation's different, when you roll that out, now we're talking and I'm like, man, I'm going to like extend this building, another football field. I'm going to put up these lights and make it a football field. You'd be, oh, that's cool, man. But when I start to do it, I'm going to be like, man, this is crazy. I don't have the money. I don't have the stamina for this. I can't do this. This is too much for me. You could talk about it. And the girl's like, oh yeah, sweetie, like for sure. I got you. I'll take care of it. Well, when it comes down to it, I've seen culturally, Bengali, Pakistani women, Punjabi women take care of their in-laws. And I'm like, man, that is different level. Like how they do it. It's like their own parents. It's even actually more than their own parents.
Yeah.
They take care of them like crazy. And for me, that is like, you can't put not a price on it, but you can't. Yeah. What are you going to say to that?
No,
that's huge.
Okay. Again, I left my career, right, to come take care of my parents.
Yeah.
Like to come take care of my shit, right? I'm the oldest in the family. It's my responsibility. My partner didn't. Again, the conversations were great because you say, oh, if I have to go do this, will you be there?
Yeah.
Right? 6 months go, the person's like, I can't.
It's too much.
It's too much. Right? So
I'm not saying
factors.
I'm not saying it's like an expectation because it is a heavy load.
Yeah.
But there are some, if you're in the culture, you already have some of that stamina for it. And then you maybe have to just really pick it up as a Punjabi, let's just say Punjabi woman. Yeah. But if you're not Punjabi and you're from a culture that doesn't take care of parents, then you're starting from scratch now. And for you to come all that way with me and my parents, it's very it's actually not a good expectation to have because it's actually kind of unfair almost because it's not their fault. That's just not what their upbringing is and that's not what their forefathers did or their generations did. For us, it's in our DNA. Yeah. It's without question. It's like, are you putting your parents in an old folks home? I'm like, are you joking? Hell no. Yeah. No. You figure it out, right? So that's, I think, for me, that's where the buck stops almost. Fair?
Okay. Fair. Very. I agree.
Yeah.
He's the other person. There are those things going out right now, right?
A lot of people pleasers out there.
Yeah. But it just doesn't, it makes life a lot harder for when what are you going to tell your kids? How are you going to, monitor that?
For me, the biggest thing is that there's a loss of culture. Yes. If you marry outside the culture, which is whatever, everybody's going to have their opinion on that.
Yeah.
You can love who you're going to love. Fine. I'll go there. I'll cross that bridge with you. Yeah. But then you lose that culture. Because if you have kids, unless you're hell bent on preserving that culture with them, it's lost. Yeah. It's kind of lost, right? They don't speak the language. They're going to be mixed. And it's just man.
Do you have a problem with mixed kids?
No, not at all. Not at all. I just feel like the new generation parents, no matter what they do based on their schedule and how busy they are and how supportive their partner is. I mean, if you're in a situation where your partner is super supportive, you're preserving the culture, that is amazing. I think kudos to those people. And if you can pull it off, awesome. It takes a certain individual to be able, individuals, to be able to put that situation together and actually execute on it. Not the first 6 months or 2 years and then it's gone for the next 50 or the first 5 years, but to like really instill in their kids the culture. But then those kids are like, they're like Punjabi, not like Akranu, like, oh yeah, I'm Punjabi, but I can't carry on one conversation with another Punjabi person. I don't go to India because I don't know anybody there. If I do go there, I can't speak to them. So then that's lost. That to me is the biggest problem with the new generation. And if you go mixed, then again, it just like that steep just becomes more.
Like that
And then we don't have the new generation doesn't have the stamina for it.
like you add on hurdles to something that just doesn't need to be added on for. Like if I wanted to marry a Punjabi person or a Sikh person in my religion, right? That's hard alone. That's hard enough on its own right now. Okay, but now I'm gonna make that even add a hurdle and marry outside my culture. Then add another hurdle of marrying outside in my religion. Okay, now you're just like making that. Like that it's just gonna be harder to jump.
And the other thing is that I don't feel like I, as a guy, have the stamina to pull the full load. I can't. Like, can I pass on the culture? Yeah, I could do my part. But if I had a person that was also similar culture, spoke the language, like for me, that just would be so much easier, instead of me being like, no, you can't speak English with them, or don't speak, no, you gotta try to speak Punjabi, like for me, just be like, it's just easier. I just come home with a little bit like less stress. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I think I like the challenge in mine.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
If you like the challenge, like my sister does it.
Yeah.
She speaks Punjabi. Yeah.
We've been in a relationship for so long, right?
But you probably have a super
relationship.
good guy that's very supportive, right?
He is rare. Like,
yeah, he's very rare.
I think blind date.
Yeah, you're rare. I'm like rare. Let's have him on the show.
Want to be watching?
Alejandro, I love you. Don't listen to anything that I say. Stop the video.
He's one of my best friends, so I know him personally, right? So
I think finding each other was a very rare moment because
Yeah.
beforehand I already knew Punjabis were off limits to me, and that is something I'm not.
When you had some bad experiences with
All
Punjab,
3 of them, and I'm like, no, this is
that's a different video.
never happening.
so we're in the last because I know you said you had up to 11 minutes, right? So we have 30 seconds here. I found on TikTok that you probably seen it where
Like those skinny little desi guys marrying some out of those ones.
yeah, like I broke the rule.
Oh, the broke the rule stuff.
The rule.
That's annoying too.
Yeah. Wait 1 second.
I get annoyed really easily.
Was this the last point?
Yeah, that was the last.
Okay, so we're just going to
For example, let's just say that's really thin Sardar guy on TikTok marrying that very big.
I don't know what to
Gadi
we're talking about.
woman.
there's this,
but it's like a thing now. Like it's like, oh, I'm out of culture. Look what I did.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what did you do? Like it's not like you did some type of like, oh my god moment. You just married a completely. I don't understand. Je tusi Sardar, yeah. I'm just saying. Now that guy is very Sardar. Like he's wearing a pug, so you could kind of anticipate what his parents are probably like. They're probably Sardar too. And come on, you're bringing home. Not like some, you're bringing home like a completely out of culture.
Yeah.
Completely out of everything. Like, I just don't understand that.
Is this in India or is that here?
It's in like Brampton, man.
Yeah.
Good old Brampton.
Okay, so talking about kids, because I know the last point there, like you have a daughter.
Yeah.
And how has that experience been for you? What as an interracial, because you guys are considered interracial?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Cubans are pretty close on the culture, but
Kind of enough.
Kind of. Not really.
okay, so
Like,
how is that for you?
Yeah, they're very close. Eh?
Yeah.
So how is that for you in the relationship that you're in? Has it been difficult? Has it been easy? Like, what does it look like for you?
Touch wood. It's been easy.
This is what.
I know. I don't have one.
Bad luck.
It's been easy so far.
Yeah.
That's why I want to touch wood that it won't. But I know when she gets older, it'll be more difficult.
Yeah.
But for us, I think because we've been together for so long, we know the expectation. Like these are things we have spoken about, right? Like yes, things changed when she was born, but at the same time, her being half and half, so she's half Latina, half Punjabi, right? For me, the religion was important because, or else she wouldn't have a religion, right? So for me to instill Sikhism on her, and
Right.
teaching her about Sikhism and other religions is important to me.
Yeah.
Right. But then the culture-wise, I want her to adapt to both. Right. So right now she's at her daddy's house. Daddy and Dada speaks pure
Sweet.
Spanish to her.
Oh, really? That's great.
Well,
Yeah.
Daddy doesn't know English. Like, she knows limited.
That's how it was for us too. Yeah.
Right?
Just Punjab.
So she speaks purely Spanish to her, right? And same with Dada. They speak Spanish. So when I take her to go visit my family, like, and at home, I speak Punjabi to her, right?
Yeah.
And between the both of us, like, we do speak English, but English is not important because she's going to pick that up in school.
Yeah.
And the people she's around.
Yeah.
So instilling Punjabi and Spanish, that is important.
You have like the perfect scenario.
That's why I wanted to touch on it.
Perfect scenario.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, it took me forever, and it took us forever to find each other, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, love is out there. Like,
Yeah.
so
But that's like such a perfect scenario with the grandparents. And then, like, forget English. They'll learn that at school.
that's the thing. So,
And then when you're at home, it's Punjabi. His parents, it's like she's going to have 2 languages off the bat, plus English, maybe French, but who cares about that?
I don't really care about
Okay.
care.
Like hypothetically, if Punjabi parents or the first generation parents were okay with, accepting their daughters or whoever they marry, okay, outside the culture, but then they were involved in their lives to help, because that's exactly what's happening is her, Alejandro's parents are helping learn that one culture, your parents are helping on the other, because what happens is when kids come and they're like, oh, we want to marry a white guy or whatever, the parents cut them off.
In some cases.
Right?
I would never do that to my daughter.
Right? And so that's where the problem.
No,
Even if she's 50, I'll be like, girl, come home.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is great. I mean, as a parent, that's awesome.
You got any other points for us at all?
I think I'm good.
Great conversation.
Holy crap! Yeah.
I think you just have a very unique situation, and I'm happy that it's working out so well. And it's great that she gets. It's great that she gets both languages, and that you guys are doing it the right way. But so many people will fudge that up. Like it just. But it just goes to show you the maturity of the people involved.
Yeah.
If you have mature people that are like, hey, this is the game plan, this is what we're gonna do. And then also, like, they're both ready to kind of compromise on certain things.
Like, I would never force, like, Sikhism on him. Like, he's got
Exactly.
to go Dwara with
Sure.
when Alora was born, we took her, we did her das and all of that.
But you're not like, ite aate aaka.
No,
Like,
I would never do that,
right.
right? Like, on Sundays, when I'm available, I go to the Gurdwara, right?
Yeah.
If it's not cold, I take I won't say my daughter's name, but I take her with me, right? If it's too cold, she stays home with dad, but I would never force him to adapt to Sikhism.
And has he ever been like, can I come? Or does he just ever come on his own?
He will come on his own when he wants to come, but I wouldn't force him and be like, you have to go this Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? And like, even with me, if I'm busy now getting ready or anything, like when she wakes up in the morning, the first thing we do is her diaper changes, and then we take her to the living room and I put Shabbat and Kirtan for her. And if I'm not there, he does it.
Oh, really?
Like,
see.
She will listen to her baby
Perfect
voice, like
scenario.
Simran, and she will do her Gurbani and all of it, right?
That's awesome.
Sometimes when I'm listening to this, it's like they're doing it better than some actual Punjabi.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But to me, like, religion,
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
even when I'm home alone, like, Shabbat and Kirtan is going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is so interesting, because I went to this like last point from me, but I went to this Punjabi, it wasn't PCHS, it was a different one. There's another organization here that kind of like preserving the Punjabi culture seminars. And there were like people that are like our age that had kids or even like a little bit older, and their kids were there. And now you see like, Sidhu Moosewala songs and Diljit and all these, Indian artists that are just killing it worldwide now, right? Like they're everywhere. And these kids are like, I don't know what the hell they're saying.
Yeah.
So now they're having these like seminars, and these kids are like 15, 16. They're like, Main Punjabi sikhni hai. And I'm just like, and their parents are like right there.
Yeah.
And their parents are like us growing up.
Okay.
And I'm like, that kid now, you fucked up, right?
Yeah, really, you
And
fucked up.
I even went up to one of the kids who was like, very impressionable. He was like 15, 16. I was like, listen, like, hey, like, you want to learn Punjabi? Let's just meet up at a Starbucks. Like, we both live in St. Vital. They had that seminar here close by, and never called. I'm like, let's just go talk Punjabi.
Yeah.
I don't want anything else. Let's just go chat. For me, it's also giving me some type of like thing that I'm also trying to help somebody, right? It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And I want you to know Punjabi because you should know it sorry that your parents didn't speak it to you. And how easy is it if you're both Punjabi parents to speak to your kid in Punjabi, and that you dropped the ball on that?
Yeah.
And now you're sitting in some community center in 2024 trying to like figure out how to get your kid back speaking Punjabi because, you know, it's just tough, man. So good on you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Killing it over there.
Dash is killing it.
Little jealous.
Anyway, okay.
Little jealous.
Killing it. Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want to do you want to do a quick shout out for your business as well? Because
Yeah, we
she's a businesswoman.
Yeah.
She's actually won a Women of the Year award,
Your award.
Entrepreneur of the Year award as well.
Okay, cool.
She's not just anybody, okay?
We don't just bring on anybody.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
So,
We're taking it up a notch.
Jesh, you want to tell us a little bit about your business and give that a shout out? Because we want our supporters to support you.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah. So I own JVY Candles Co. Actually, JVY stands for our names. We mashed it up together.
Okay.
So the JV is Jashvinia and the Y is his last name, Euro.
Nice.
So I started this candle business because I wanted to put a cleaner product out there because I love candles, I love incense. But everywhere you go, it's just toxic products.
Yeah.
So I started this candle company to put a cleaner product out there so everyone can enjoy them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we have our Instagram and then we'll just put that.
Yeah, we'll put all that information in the description. I buy a lot of stuff from you.
Yeah.
I should bring it into the cannabis store. I was just thinking.
Yeah.
We thought about bringing in candles.
She made like this home warming gift for somebody that I had to take for, right? She made like this really nice gift basket.
Right.
And the candles are like, I don't know if
You made them at home or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At home.
and they're so
Full on.
beautiful. Like they're beautiful like candles. So like
Yeah.
So make sure you guys go check out that stuff. It'll
Yes,
be all in the
absolutely.
description below. We'll probably
We should have her back because there's more here. But
yeah.
we're just
To come.
like barely grazing over the surface of this very interesting conversation.
So you guys let us know what you guys thought about this episode and how the conversation itself. I know we went a little bit on our old style here, but
That's okay.
it's okay.
See how it is sleeping?
Time.
See how
Yeah.
it's sleeping?
He wasn't sleeping this.
I wasn't like-
Anyways, it's a good conversation. Okay, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe button, comment down below, let us know your guys' thoughts, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.
See ya.